off, I'm usually an oil painter. I don't usually draw, but I decided to start off my work with kind of drawing that kind of depicts sort of like a unity of systems. So a lot of my work kind of is based off like natural systems or sort of integration of people in their environment. I'm really passionate about nature and specifically about the ocean. So I wanted to start off with a couple of things that kind of depict that as a kind of a theme for my art. I didn't really structure my talk as a way of like going through my life. I just decided to do a couple slides of like my work in general, just to kind of I don't know, give you guys an idea of where I'm coming from. So I'm from the Ascension Coast. I think a thing I struggled with a lot being a painter from the Sunshine Coast is that it's super cliche. So like you're coming from the coast, like my parents are a little bit hippie, my dad's a biologist, and I was just like, he's an artist as well, and I was like, oh, I don't want to like grow up to be painting like, you know, landscapes of like, you know, fish or mountains or all of that, because I felt like it was just, I wanted to do something different. And when I was younger, I was doing like a lot of work that I was trying to be like a little bit edgy or something like that, but growing up in the forest and stuff like that, I felt also really isolated. So I was kind of just drawing a lot of my environment, and I didn't really know a lot about like the art world in general, so I was just kind of trying to do stuff like that, but I didn't really know a lot about it. When I was a teenager, I moved to Brazil until I was about 18, and the kind of culture shock to going there made me a lot more shy. I wanted to be a little bit more outgoing, but kind of it made me a lot more isolated, and I got a lot more into art. So coming back, it's weird for my friends now, I think, because I try to be really outgoing and I make a lot of efforts too, but I was really self-conscious. I really, like, this would be the absolutely last thing I would want to do. Like, I would not want to come up here and talk about art. Like, I would be like, no. But I kind of romanticize ideas about, like, getting out of your comfort zone. So when I got an email about this, I was like, oh, totally, I totally want to do that. That's so good, whatever. And then for about a week, I was like, oh my God, why would I assume that's okay? Like, I don't want to do that. Like, oh my God. And like this morning I was at my friend's house and I was like, okay, I'm going to try and write this thing. I don't know what to even say about myself. So I was like, I guess I'll just, come up here and talk. So I got back from Brazil. I was like, I can't do art seriously. That's not a thing people do seriously. And I went to school for psychology. And then about 3 years in, I was like, I don't really think I can do this seriously either, though I really, I really liked the structure and the kind of format of being in school. Like, I felt like I knew what I needed to do, even though that wasn't always super fun. I knew kind of how to succeed in that structure. So eventually, I didn't really understand my direction in it. I transferred to Emily Carr, and I was super, super terrified. I was like, I don't know what anyone wants from me. I'm super anxious. I don't know how to make conceptual art. All my art is super romantic. It's super natural, and like, I don't know how to make things that have like a narrative or that are like pushing boundaries, and kind of the pressure of like people wanting that from you a lot or having to write about your art a lot, like kind of put me in a weird place with my work. I never wanted to come home and paint, where I even did that when I was in university before. So I kind of had to, I got in a headspace where I kind of had to withdraw from school and start focusing on my own work. And I kind of like this collective as well, because it's kind of a space for women as well. I feel like my work is really female, and it's like, it's not that I'm saying that Emily Carr can't be that or anything like that. I just felt like everything was really heavily critiqued as being in relation to what a lot of people have been doing before, and I felt like from my background, I didn't really know how to participate in that. So I kind of took some time out of it, and I started doing work that explored more how I felt about nature and like how I felt like my friends felt about nature. So pretty much everything that I do now, if it has depictions of women in it, are friends of mine. So a lot of the aerial things will be people doing circus and basing it off that. Or this is my friend Corinne. I'm really interested in, obviously water as well. So I really like deconstruction of kind of like under layers, the process of building that skin and like building people into their environments as well. I think like I really like focusing on like ecosystems and kind of feeling a part of that and reminding people that they're a part of their environment as well. And I like depicting real people in my life. So kind of that collaboration is the theme for most of my artwork now. This is Priscilla. Actually, she's doing a really awesome mural in the Mural Festival right now. So you can see that up on Main as well. What am I gonna say now? So yeah, it's been kind of interesting doing Mural Festival. I'll just kind of go off that. I'm doing it with a team of 4 women. So I haven't worked with them before, and we were kind of starting talking over the internet, and like we were starting doing our planning and everything like that. And it's kind of interesting because like with painting, when you're starting your painting, you kind of go through a similar arc with everything you do. You kind of get in this planning stage and you're unsure, and then you go through this emotional arc where you're like feeling high, you go to like your low, and you kind of pull yourself out of it and wrap it up. But doing that with like 4 other people is kind of bizarre, because you go through all those stages, but they're not really lined up. And I think that's been like the kind of fun thing doing a collaboration with 4 other women, especially like one is staying with me and we're just like, oh my gosh, she's like, do you think this mural is gonna work out? I'm like, don't say that to me right now. So it's been kind of interesting also seeing that. I'm like, I'm sure other people go through this, but it's nice to see that mirrored. I've always been like kind of secretive about art, and I think people start out painting that way. You kind of want everyone to think that your art's created in like a vacuum, like you just went in your house, you made it, you came out, it's perfect. And like I kind of think me trying to be a little bit more open, a little bit more vulnerable with my feelings in general has also reflected in my art practice, and like I feel more comfortable like exploring that with other people. I want to show people like halfway through my piece, like where before I would be super uncomfortable letting people in my studio. I don't want people to see things before it's perfect. But I think to like talk to other people about art and inspire them about art is like kind of letting them into those places where you're super unsure. Like you don't want people to see you when you're in the dip, but it is really inspirational, and I really enjoy seeing other pieces and like respect people when they show you them in that area. So to wrap it up, I guess, I've been really enjoying Mural Festival. I'm really glad I did this talk, even though it was stressful. And thank you so much for you guys for doing it.